Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her era lore. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The field's not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us here. And done so, do us a favor, drops a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash that like, repost, a bookmark on today's space. We would greatly appreciate it. It does warm up the algo and does us a real solid. While you're up there, go wherever you'd like to view us at. Head over to YouTube, head over to Abstract. We're live on Steve's Abstract today. We're also live here on X video as well. But as always, the extra love on the Spaces audio link is our biggest ask, is that really gets people going. So that's pinned up top, second in from the left. If you missed any shows this week, the carousel's on the right. You can catch most of the recordings there. Tried to insert a joke, it didn't work. Go hit the Spaces link up top. And as always, I'm Captain my co Steve. Nerdy financial advice on the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky. Meme coins exceptionally risky. Go to 0 to moment zones. Please don't put any money in and can't afford to lose. None of the Steve and I hold tokens we'll talk about from time to time, including Vibestr and a couple good vibes clubs. So we are vibing this morning, and you love to see it. Well, we talked yesterday. I speculated. I thought this might be the Good Vibes actual official token. Indeed, it was. I did not know that. The guys didn't tell me. Just thought it made sense. And like I said, I appreciate the experimentation on chain. I love we're seeing new stuff. And this one seems like they might have, in fact, actually nailed it. Steve, GM, sir, how you doing?
GM, doing well. Give us a like, a retweet, a comment on the room. Actually, I may do it Monday. Maybe we need to, because I know we have a lot to talk about today, but I do have 2 of Eric Lee's books to give away if people are interested. I want to give it away to somebody. By the way, Machiavelli, thanks for the tip. Want to give it away to somebody who actually mints her NFT, which is $14 on Manifold. So supporting a good one in the space. Especially the early folks who are out there. Give us a like, a retweet, a comment on the room. But I'll pin to the top her thing. So if you do mint, just at me and let me know. You can let me know in the chat and let me know you minted the book or on that. Basically, go to her website. Don't connect your wallet to the website. Connect your wallet to Manifold and mint it. It's $14. She's a crypto journalist. She covered the Everything token when it came out. On top of that, she's just got a whole bunch of things in here that basically talks about her sort of history of covering things. Got some cool prompts in the back that are kind of fun to play around with. So I would say like worth checking out. It's a little time capsule of sort of like different like times in NFTs and things that she covered, particularly in crypto. So anyway, worth the look. Highly recommend minting. She's got Clanos and cool cats and all sorts of stuff in here. So give it a mint if you get a chance. And if you mint it, let me know, and I'll pick one person that I'll send at least one of these books to. But yeah, man, feeling good, man. Feeling like, numbies up for the most part. Definitely the Good Vibes Club was a interesting ride yesterday. I had bought one on the show, and then somebody bricked the floor at an announcement of how they were changing the Vibes strategy, or how they were purchasing the strategy, being more deliberate instead of a sweep. And the floor went from 0.7 to 0.5 in a straight line. Insane price action. All the way back up above that price though, as we kind of roll through it. But you seem pretty pumped up about this one.
Yeah, no, I pinned up my post yesterday. I'll grab that now just for those that are viewing in. And it's actually a much better landscape this morning than when I posted yesterday. But as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, this is looking good. So this was 2:08 yesterday. So just a couple hours after launch, their wallet had already purchased 5 Good Vibes Club and was sitting on 457 ETH worth of fees. And I did the math, at that time, the floor was 0.66. So you could see it was down slightly from launch. You can see here, you mentioned that dip almost all the way down. There was sales in that 0.5 range. This is also like, I'm not being an asshole. I'm not commiserating or laughing at other people's capitulation, but it like brings me back to like 2021 NFTs. Like there's clearly people, and I honestly, I think this is actually not entirely Good Vibes goes very different than a lot of the legacy collections. The fact that they are a newer collection, they didn't have a native token. There's a lot of people, I think, in all these collections that are just waiting for an exit pump. I do think there's a lot of people in a lot of these collections that they love the community, they love the team, they love the founders, they have deep conviction, and they're in for the long haul. But I've said many times, there's just way too much supply. I'm not saying there's too much supply in Good Vibes Club. I think give them credit for adjusting, not dropping a supply of 10,000 and then a secondary collection of 20,000. I think Good Vibes Club's at a marked advantage over many of the other PFP collections because they only have a supply of less than 7,000, where most of them are dealing with 30,000 plus. It's a big difference. It's a big, big difference. And there's just not that many people here. There's not that many people interested in NFTs. It's going to be, I think for people to get interested in NFTs again, all these people who bought speculatively, whether they bought this year or whether they bought in 2021 or 22, and they're just waiting for that X pump, they're going to have to get out. They're going to have to exit the collection, and you're going to have to get people who really want to be holding these assets. I do believe a lot of the Good Vibes Club's holders really want to be holding these assets. They love the team, they love the art, and they're here for the long haul. Yesterday, at that time, at the current floor, it would have been enough to acquire that 457 ETH. They could have acquired 10% of the collection. If they would have, if no more people would have listed, just stop listing stop undercutting the floor, stop listing. And this is the thing too. It's like, we saw it back in 2021 where the floor is lava. People are buying, one of these is selling every second, which is insane to think about for an NFT in a collection selling one a second or one a minute. It's silly. But even still, you would see that the floor would be lava, cleared by demand, and yet there'd be people freaking out and they'd be undercutting the floor because I don't know. Like people would buy one at 0.67 ETH, and then the floor dips to 0.65. Oh shit, I gotta sell this thing for a loss like a minute or two later. Knowing that there's real buy pressure, real buy demand. Here, now we're not even speculating that there's other people that are buying. We're not even basing it on a immediately current buy volume. We know for a fact that there is a wallet that is going to spend its liquidity on these NFTs. In the case of Good Vibes Club, it's a wallet that still holds 457 ETH, very close to what it was holding yesterday when I sent that tweet out. But instead of holding 5 Good Vibes Club NFTs, it now holds 71 Good Vibes Clubs NFTs. So it's already taking 71 NFTs effectively off the market at the current prices. Now it has sold, it's already sold 14. You know, you can see it bought for 0.59, sold for 0.7, bought for 0.63, sold for 0.75. By the way, when this 1.85 ETH of profit, then it buys that's Vibestr token, burns that token. So back up to the top here, you can see there has been market cap already up to almost 10 million. I'm kicking myself. I bought like a really tiny sliver yesterday. Actually sold something else to rotate into Vibestr. The swap didn't go through. I didn't realize it. Didn't get my buy-in. I'm probably a buyer here on Vibestr. You asked me, am I a buyer on the NFT? I'm not selling the NFTs. In fact, I woke up this morning freaking out, thinking one of the two I had listed probably sold. It didn't. I immediately edited the list price and moved it up quite a bit. There's already been 3 million Vibestr token burned. That's 0.3% of the total supply. Market cap it's already the second highest. Let me go back to the main page here, and you can see the Vibestr token is the second highest market cap already, behind only Punk Strategy. It's ahead of Ape Strategy. It's ahead of Pudgy Strategy. It's ahead of Check Strategy by quite a bit. I believe part of it has to do with it is the team declared this is their token. They're not going to launch into their own native token. But I also think the other thing is how they're going about it, is the fact that they launched not only as their official token, but they're not sweeping floors. Like we saw how that played out with Goblin Town. That floor sweep, all you're doing is giving those who are purely looking for an exit strategy their exit, and the floor is going to come crashing back down, which what it did with Goblin Town. In the case of Good Vibes Club, we saw that yesterday. The people who were really looking they couldn't wait for that exit pump. It didn't happen right away. I don't know if they didn't read the mechanics or didn't, whatever. They maybe they just had no patience, and so they started selling off the floor. You know, a lot of them exited the collection. The floor dipped to 0.5, and now you have number seemingly continues to go up as there's a wallet that's got 457 ETH, and it's going to spend that on NFTs. Like I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Like I don't know if we even have an analog like this, where it's like you're holding an asset that you know there's going to be hundreds of these things sold to one specific buyer. Why in the hell would you undercut the floor? I just like my brain can't comprehend why some people would be like, oh, I better get out right now. I better sell this into a WETH bid, because they're like, at least back in the day when I was talking about like the undercutters, maybe the buy pressure stopped. Here we know for a fact, unless the smart contract breaks, which I don't think is going to happen, we know for a fact there is 457 ETH worth of capital that's going to be buying this asset.
One block at a time is their rule now. Is that right? Yeah. Like, so they're just buying. So it's going to over time, right?
That's a key, very key point.
Explain the flywheel for people who maybe are listening and they're like,
that's $2 million. You've got $2 million going to buy these assets that are
$3,000 or something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know that's not nothing, but you got $2 million waiting to buy a $3,000 asset. Like I think I've convinced myself to just delist both mine. Like I know there's a sell wall, but I think a lot of the people that couldn't wait for their exit pump, I think they exited yesterday, and chart looks good, man, on both fronts. The Vibestr chart and this thing could be, the Vibestr token could be a $2 million market cap by tomorrow. We don't know. Like, I don't know for sure on that side, but on the NFT side, how low could this thing go? Like, you would need one of the Good Vibes Club's whales, I think, to capitulate and really brick the floor for this thing to. This to me is, from a fundamental standpoint, I mean, forget the follow through, what happens after the fact. I'm just talking about being able to exit without bricking the floor. This is better than the blur bids. Like, when I think of, like, when Mando and OSF exited and they sold their some 80 some apes, and it hardly moved the floor in the short term. Here, it's not just bids, it's real buys. Like, they're going to buy at the listed price. Just like, literally, if everyone just went and stopped listing, just go touch grass, let this thing play out for 7 days, the floor is going to be well over ETH. It's programmed. Like, we joke, we say, oh, this is programmed. This is literally programmed.
So why, let me ask this then. Like, if you had liquid right now, are you a buyer of Good Vibes Club at 0.75? Are you simply a buyer of Vibestr right now? What do you do? Because, I mean, like, I
don't understand the upside on Vibestr. I don't know where that could go. Could that run to 100 million? Maybe. I don't know. Like, it's just so new. That's where I'm
torn with it, right? Like, because they have control over that. Like, they have a say over that, right? So, like, if they're making it their official token and they're going to use it in various ways and be like, you need to, because, like, it seems like, okay,
about 69 ETH worth. It's about 300,000. I think they've done one half of that buy, and they've got the other half they're waiting for a different,
But assumedly here, and we should back up and explain. I'm going to have you explain the flywheel again to people who maybe are sitting here saying, like, how does this all work? But, like, assumedly, the idea here would be, if they're making it their official token, it would be, the buy pressure would be, hey, we have this thing this merch we're selling, or this thing we're giving away, and you can only buy it in Vibestr. Then somebody has to go buy Vibestr and do it. Then the team acquires more Vibestr through that. Maybe they, on the run up, cash a little bit, put a little bit in their pocket, but, like, they're foregoing a profit center and an opportunity in a token to make this their official token, which is, I don't think that can be understated, because
big deal. I said this yesterday. I should go back to my post because I buried the lead. Actually, it wasn't even that post that this is the real news. I think is exactly what you said.
Yeah,
you guys. I said I love how this team moves. Chris and Ty might be the most deliberate and thoughtful founders in the space. Seems as if all their moves are with intent and well thought out. While the GVC PFPs minted in 2025, the art in the club is a culmination of years of work. And to me, like, I don't know. I mean, every TGE is different, but I truly believe that Chris and Ty personally probably foregoed 7 figures by way of a TGE of their own. And instead of dropping their own token and keeping 10 to 30% of the supply for the team and marketing budget, they bought token yesterday that they didn't have allocation of. That's a really big deal. That shows a big alignment with the user base, with the not just aligning with TokenWorks and the strategy tokens, but with their community. Like, it's an experiment. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't play out that well, but yeah, I think Chris and Ty are underrated smart, and how they move seems to be very, they've really, in many cases, seem to, I mean, they've been here. They pay attention to the space, and I think they seem to take advantage of those second mover advantages when they have it.
Yeah, I think, like, that to me is the thing that's worth pointing out, is that they're foregoing a big payday to integrate this and align with this thing, which is coming down the pike. They're going to play around with it and experiment with it, obviously. They're going to have fun with it, but, like, they are going to potentially create the buy pressure on it, right? When they do something with it. And they may even give a distribution to their community, which honestly would be, but that probably wouldn't be great for the floor. But, like, for either floor, to be honest. But I think that announcement today could be interesting. But like, let's talk about like, first of all, explain the Vibestr flywheel again, so people know it before we go to Joey, because there are some people who maybe are like, what is this going on? So the token goes up. Where does this ETH come from? And how they buy and relist above, and then they use that money to rebuy. Give that flywheel explanation, because I think that is important to understand. Like, because people can look at that and be like, well, that's only as good as long as floor is going up. However, like if the team is then using that as an official token, and that official token gets more money to acquire, it can create the flywheel can even flywheel harder. But talk a little bit about that and what that is. Explain the strategy to people who maybe aren't going there, and then we'll bring Joey in for his opinion on this.
Yeah, I'm looking for a good thread just so I don't butcher it. If anyone who is super deep in token works or the strategy, or anyone wants to make rigs tilt by saying flywheel 16 or 17 times, throw up a request. I've seen if our guy I Can't Trade is out there, because he's been all over this from the jump. But essentially, here's the deal. The Vibestr token launches, and I'll go back to share this screen. This might help as I talk through it. The Vibestr token launches. When it launches, it's got a 99% tax on it that goes down 1% every month. That's now settled at 10%. My screen wasn't refreshed there. You can see it's actually been almost a full percent of the supply has been burned. Market cap at just over 9 million. This Vibestr token, it is so the flywheel is like this. They have these, every time there's a trade, there's a 10% buy tax on Vibestr. So anytime anyone trades at 9.57 million in volume, that equates to fees. 1% of those fees goes back to Punk Strategy. The other goes to the Vibe Strategy contract. After 1 day of trading, less than 1 day, went live at noon yesterday. So 20 hours of trading, the Vibe Strategy wallet has accumulated not just 557 ETH in fees. That's what they're holding right now. You can see it's going up in real time as trades occur. It's that plus whatever ETH it added up to acquire 72 NFTs. So all these strategies are a little different. They keep evolving. I mentioned Goblin Town. Theirs was basically, it's like they swept the floor with the wallet. Here, they're doing one buy every ETH block. I believe, check me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe it's one buy every ETH block. So they've bought 72 NFTs, still have 457 ETH at their disposal. When they buy an NFT, so they buy this NFT and then it immediately gets relisted at, well, the floor ran up to, oh no, these are what they're listed at, excuse me. So they buy an NFT. As soon as they buy it, it gets relisted for 20% more than what they bought it for. So this one that is listed for 0.804, they bought for, I don't know, do the math, 0.7. They buy it, they relist it. When one of these sells, then they take the proceeds from the NFT sales, they go buy Vibestr with that, and they burn that Vibestr. I need to work on my explanations there, but did that make sense? And you can see the ones they sold. Here's the profit. So they bought this one for 0.59. They sold it for 0.078. That was a 0.118 ETH profit. They take that ETH, they go buy Vibe Strategy, and they burn the Vibe Strategy. So the token itself is deflationary. The NFTs aren't deflationary because they are selling them, but they're not going to brick the floor. So like I'm trying to, I'm drawing blanks for an analog. The closest I can come up with is blur farming, which isn't great. The difference there is so if assume that the Vibe Strategy wallet is comparable to a whale farming blur. In that case, the whale farming blur that had 457 ETH, they would either mostly put up WETH bids for an asset they didn't want. And then when one of those bids hit, they relisted it lower because they don't want the asset. Or maybe they relisted it for more, but point being is they didn't want to hold the asset. They were just farming blur. So they wanted to have their liquidity out there on bids, and then as soon as something hit, they resold it. Often they'd sell it into WETH bids or brick the floor. So it was the blur farming was a flywheel that would effectively, it was just downward pressure on floor prices. The way that was working is people didn't want to hold the assets. They just wanted to get their bids there. And if it got hit, they'd immediately sell it below the floor. And that just led to a vicious cycle. Here, every time they buy one, not only are they not going to sell it into a WETH bid or sell it for less than they bought it for, they're only going to sell it for more than what they bought it for. So they're listing it higher, 20%. And then when it sells, they're then going and reinvesting that back into the token, burning the token, making the token deflationary. And oh, by the way, this whole time, all the trading going on the token is continuing to generate fees to put into the Vibe strategy wallet, which is going to continue to buy NFTs. I need to work on that explanation, but did that land at all?
A little bit. I gotta honestly
it's not that difficult. I made it sound way more difficult to understand than it actually is. I think it's the first time I've actually tried to explain the flywheel out loud.
I was trying to work with ChatGPT while you were talking about how many NFTs you could buy if it just went through one big sweep, and it's not helping. ChatGPT is doing a poor job, so don't worry, analysts. AI is still sucking, but my guess is 300. If it went
yesterday I actually added it all up on that. I clicked the buttons on Mintify, and at that point it was they would have taken it from, so it's not, maybe not as many now because the floor is higher, but yesterday when the floor was 0.66, if they would have swept the floor, it would have bought 531 NFTs for the 456 ETH. Now they couldn't buy quite 531 today because the floor is higher, but yeah, I mean it's a good chunk. It's like back in the day, if there was a whale that came out and said, I've got $2 million of ETH that I'm putting into this collection, and every time I buy one, I promise you all, I will never sell it for less than what I buy it for. We'd be like, holy shit, delist, because we would that's like, for something that doesn't have this much supply, doesn't have that that many listings, like that's insane indicator for price action. The difference is now it's not a person, it's a
machine.
It's a machine. It's a robot that doesn't have feelings. It's not going to change its opinion. It's not going to get shaken out. It's like, this is so much better. You talk about a trustless environment. This is so much better than a big whale coming into a collection and just trusting. Trust me, bro. We don't have to trust. It's quite literally programmed. We've memed it into reality, Steve.
Yeah,
floor is programmed. It's literally programmed. Just stop listing. Go touch some grass. Good vibes, club holders.
It's interesting too, because I look at the because look, I've been in and out of a lot of collections.
I talked myself into it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's good. We'll go to Joey here in a second, but it's just, it's the reason it reminds me of 2021 a little bit and why it's kind of fun is I find myself looking, because I'm going between, because I asked you, are you a net buyer here? You're like, no, not buying at the floor. I'm not buying, but I'm not selling. And
only because I'm to buy. I'm not sitting liquid right now. I need to rotate, and maybe this is what I need to force actually sell my Zed bags and some other shit that I just don't have the patience to go through the listings.
And you would go a Good Vibes Club NFT, a non-fungible token, over the fungible token of Vibestr if you had 0.75 ETH burning a hole in your pocket right now. Is what you're saying?
I don't know. I feel that. So here's how I feel about that. I think the Good Vibes Club NFT is a much safer bet right now. It's hard for me to see an outcome where the floor cuts in half. And I think it's reasonable, it's in range. The floor could double from here. On the token, the market cap could cut in half tomorrow. Wouldn't surprise me. But the upside is a 10x from here, maybe more. And I don't see the upside of the NFT as a 10x from here. So it's kind of what's your risk? What's your goal? Are you looking for a 2x? Well, with little downside, that's probably the NFT. Are you looking for a 10x with potentially a 90% drawdown? That's probably the token. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. I saw Joey Val's hand go up. So Joey Val's, go ahead and get in here, GM.
GM. So it's roughly every 12 minutes that the contract is buying an NFT. That's the new. That's what it was explained to me, that when they adjusted how quickly the contract would buy NFTs, it became roughly every 12 minutes now. Because previously, if you remember, originally anybody could trigger a buy, and then that created all kinds of like controversy with people. And then go ahead. Sorry.
Are you sure it's because ETH? I wasn't familiar. ETH blocks are about every 12 seconds, not 12 minutes.
It's not every ETH block anymore. It was. I think that's what it was.
That's what checks.
And that. Yeah, and then it got changed to, because this is a conversation I was having with Dort about, like, because we're both in GBC and we were kind of talking about it, and he was like, it's roughly every 12 minutes right now, which means there's enough ETH for it to buy NFTs for the next week, like roughly, right? So if it doesn't add any more ETH, if it doesn't sell anything, whatever, right? Like, so from my understanding, it's every 12 minutes, because if you do the math on how many it's bought right now, I think it's bought about 100 or so, right? So if you take that 100 times 12 minutes divided by 60 minutes, it puts us at about 20 hours, right? Roughly, which is when the contract launched 20 hours ago. So I think it's at every 12 minutes right now, which is smart that they slowed it down, because you don't get these like absurdly fast pumps that then come crashing down. So that's my understanding. And then the other thing is, we still haven't, because Steve kept saying, like, explain the vibe wheel or whatever. Like, we still don't know what the vibe wheel is, right? Like, and maybe he just meant flywheel, but like they alluded yesterday that there's an announcement coming today that they're calling the vibe wheel, which is their intention, how they intend on utilizing, the strategy, the 39 million tokens that they purchased so far, to kind of feed into this. And my guess is, that this could end up, to your point, Steve, about how they forego, like they foregoed 7 figures by not launching their own token, that if they lean into this and they have a real strategy with the 5% that they make on NFT trades, then the fact that they got into their token so early, which this was like I didn't explain this correctly in the war room and I got beat up for it, which is fine. It's my fault for not explaining it correctly, right? Like, you had to figure out when you wanted to get in, how much tax you were willing to pay based on how the market cap was moving, right? Like, some people, I got in at above 95% tax, but I got more tokens above the 95% tax for my money than people got at like a 65% tax or a 50% tax, because the market cap was moving so fast. So they got in so early with that large buy. They make 5% on the NFTs. They get, so if the market cap continues to go up on Vibestr, and if they continue to rake in 5% on NFTs, and they really lean into this, and this vibe wheel, flywheel that's being created continues to just explode, they could make way more than what they would make by launching their own token. And maybe I'm wrong. I haven't done the math, but you don't make 5% on a token like you do on your NFTs, and you're making money on both here.
This is big. I've shown the NFT royalties charts a few times.
Rip it up, because I want to see what Good Vibes is cooking with right now. If you got it,
I don't know if anyone remembers where they were yesterday before this kicked off, but just take a guess. Both of you guess what is GVC generated?
I think I remember they were at like 120, right? Yesterday?
No, not even close. Not yesterday.
Oh,
what do you think they've generated in the past week, Steve?
In the past week, I'm bad at these games because I'm bad with remembering numbers. So I don't know.
Yesterday it was 20K in the past week.
I was actually gonna say like in the past week, 20K was what I was gonna, but I thought I remembered from yesterday. So how much in the past week in total? If it was 20K as of yesterday, did it jump to like 30K?
How about 130K?
See, I was gonna say this as Joey was talking. Like,
this is insane, dude. This is $500,000 a month. Like, I'm trying.
But see, that's where this strategy makes them money on both sides.
Yes,
because they bought the token so early and got so much allocation, and they're making money on the trading.
Not all strategies. Some are going to crash and burn. I truly believe Good Vibes Club is creating a new playbook for this meta right now. I also think what's going to happen is I think we're going to see several other of the, like, genuine question. Why doesn't Spencer drop a new contract? Is Provenance really that important for Moonbirds?
I mean, I think for certain NFT collections, provenance matters. Certain people
matter for Moonbirds. I agree. Like, I don't want my ape on a new contract.
I don't know if some people will though. Like the tricky part with Moonbirds, I'll throw out
with Moonbirds, if they just change one pixel, my understanding is they drop a new contract, change one pixel, they can also give the whole CCO thing could be gone away.
Somebody told me that was actually a swirling rumor that is not correct. So I've had mixed legal reviews on that because I actually was saying that adamantly too, and then somebody was like, "That's actually not what you're thinking. That's what Yuga was initially going to do, and it's not the case."
Okay.
Why not at least drop a new contract for oddities and mythics? Like,
okay,
there's no provenance with those.
I get it. Well, I mean, mythics, I don't think anyone gives a shit. I think oddities people do. I will say, like, I do think some people do. I think part of the problem is, and this is a decision as a leader. Look, we talk about this all the time. Leaders don't.
This is a seven-figure decision.
We talked about it yesterday with Gary V, and he made the decision on the tickets, and not everybody agreed with it, but we agreed with it, and we understood what he was doing. A decision Spencer would have to make is the following, and I can tell you how he could probably go about it. There are people who have been through the fucking fire with Moonbirds, and so for them, their thought process is, I wear as a badge of honor that I ripped this thing through. What Spencer could do is say,
I think we're going the same. Go ahead. And if not, I got another idea for him.
He could say, if you migrate to this contract, you will get a soulbound token, and that soulbound token is going to get you something. He won't say exactly what, but it gets you more allocation of BIRB. And
I was going to say, boom, they have BIRB coming up. Like, this is a layup for them. Like, give them an option. You don't have to put all the Moonbirds on one new contract. Now, but if you want to come to the new contract, you're going to get a soulbound token. With that soulbound token is going to come some allocation for BIRB. I bet 50 to 70% of the collection would move.
Yeah.
And their royalty number goes from 20K in the past week to 200K in the past week.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like that would be the move for Spencer to try to get people to do it, because I think some people would say, I don't want to do it, yada, yada, yada. Or take a little bit of a tech lift and give them a survivor badge if they've had it for a certain amount of time, or you know what I mean? Like, there are things, or things that you want. I mean, there are people who might want provenance who are like, I own Justin Mizell's bird or whatever. So I can understand where people want certain things that go along with it. I think those are exceptions to the rule.
Does Ryan Carson Burbs have a premium, or are they sold at a discount?
I probably you don't want, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to take the high road. But I think the thought process of getting the provenance aspect of it, people will care. But if they don't, if the majority of them don't care, give them an option. Or here's the thing. The people who are going to care about the provenance of your BIRB or your mythic or your oddity, how many do you think it is? 100? Less? What do you think if you had to guess, Cap?
Less than 100.
Less than 100. You can white glove treatment every single one of those people to give them the new contract and give them a special trophy, badge, whatever the hell they want, that be this is just for you to have as a collectible. It's soulbound. It says that you did this thing. Or maybe it's not even soulbound. Maybe it's actually BIRB bound, the way that mythics, how mythics are bound to oddities? Are you aware of this? That if an oddity was burned to get a mythic, you get the dead oddity and the mythic with it. So there's this black and white NFT. It's cool. They're bound. So maybe if there's 100
I didn't realize this, but I do. I think I have one of those in my wallet now that you say that.
So if you are a person who cares about the provenance, why not just say
Entities are called, right?
yeah, deadities. So it's tied to the mythic. So if you're a person who cares about the provenance and there's less than 100, you just put out an announcement all over the place. Hey, we're migrating to a new contract. You do it, you get a soulbound token. And if you don't get a soulbound, if you really, really care about the provenance, we will soulbound a token, or we will token bound that, just like this deadity, to your BIRB that says this was owned by this person. You could do a custom one for each one. It's 100 people or whatever. It's not that much of a lift. The work that you put in to do that for the new contract is going to be tenfold for all of these royalties and all this trading you're going to see. And so I think if you are Moonbirds, why not? Why not every collection outside of those who really care? And it puts you in a tough spot because people care about minting their apes. People care about owning their apes. I care that somebody sold their ape to me at a loss when I bought it for 0.25 and someone had bought it for 0.3, I think it was 0.33 maybe. So why not? Why not just do that if you are Spencer with Burbs? Because again, real opportunity there for somebody to make a little bit of cash. So that's my take on it. I agree with you, Cap. I wholeheartedly agree with you that that's what they should do. And so I actually think they should be thinking about it, because Good Vibes Club printing 6 figures on this is a massive opportunity. And then every time you have a big announcement, you have this. And to your point, this flywheel for Good Vibes Club, flywheel rigs, flywheel, can't exist without the royalty enforcement of the contract, because if otherwise they're just whatever, these things are flipping around, maybe we make some money. But because of it, exactly the reason Joey said, which is exactly it, they're able to print on this on both ends and use this token however they want. And by the way, them buying it means a portion of that money goes back into their pocket on the sales. So it's just a massive opportunity for them on that end. So Joey, go ahead and get back in here.
Yeah, I think everything. It's
We're losing you, Joey.
We're losing you, Joey.
Hello?
You bring it up.
Hello? Check.
You're back.
Go.
Okay, sorry. Maybe the Wi-Fi jumped because I walked. But I think what you said makes total sense, and if any collection out there is considering doing an NFT strategy, because now I think they're which I think is great of TokenWorks to be more deliberate with who's launching who's launching a strategy and having some type of maybe qualification process. But if you're intending on applying for it or considering for it, the first thing you should consider is whether or not you have an enforceable royalty contract. Because if you don't have an enforceable royalty contract and you're going to do the NFT strategy, what are you even doing?
I mean,
how what are you even doing at that point?
I mean, it certainly helps if you're making royalties on that. That definitely is part of the key part of the key part of the flywheel. I think it could be done without it. I think more so than royalty enforcement it's going to be a lot harder for those with other ecosystem tokens, I feel. I didn't read the whole thing. I did. We gave our guy I Can't Trade a shout out earlier. I'm not sure if you're in here. I Can't Trade. If you want to join the conversation, we'd love to get your take on this. I know you're deeper than any of us. You've been beating the strategy drum since the jump. Gave a take on what Burbs and Vibestr should do. It's a long thread. I struggle to multitask and read something that deep while I'm hosting. But the one thing that did jump out to me was that at the time of BIRB launch, the BIRB strategy wallet would have about 75 Moonbirds in it, to which would lead for an insane BIRB allocation, to which Spencer could do something creative with that in terms of buying Vibestr, or there's above and beyond anything else. Steve, is this a Ponzi? I don't know, maybe but it's new ways to, whether we like it or not, these NFTs, these digital assets, they are financialized, in many cases hyper financialized. This is a new mechanism. You may not like the word flywheel, you may love it. It's just there's a lot more here, that it's just like blur farming was a mechanism that tapped into the hyper financialization of NFTs, just as this does. I just think this is one that actually has more staying power and could have a positive price impact as opposed to the negative price impact and the downward pressure that things like blur farming and, sorry, Steve, voyage farming does to these collections.
Well, and congrats to the shout out to like the Good Vibes team. Again, I owe them a post probably because
How many times do I have to take shots at OpenSea before we get Hollander on here to defend himself?
I mean, he'd probably come on. I think they got a lot going on right now. He's probably
we should extend the invite so he knows that he's welcome anytime, and maybe it's when they get closer to actually sharing. Maybe that's it. Maybe we see if he wants to come on when they actually announce either right after the October update.
Yeah, I assume the October update, if I was guessing, I don't know anything for a fact. I assume the October update would be coming after the rewards drop because they said early October, mid-October maybe, and like 5 days chest drop. So I'm trying to work my way up to that ruby chest. I'm 81% of my way through my sapphire, and then that's probably where I will land. Unless I decide to just burn money and light it on fire, but I'm not going to do that. I've been doing it pretty.
Holy shit, Steve's a baller. You're way up there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to be on Ruby in a second. Not in a second, but by the end of this thing. And so that'll be top 3 chests. I don't necessarily think that's going to correlate into like tons and tons of money. I'm hoping I get a shot at one of those things. Like, man, if I want a punk, that's the hard part. Because if I want a punk, I should sell it and just be in a good spot financially for a while. But if I want a punk, I want a punk. So I'm just in a bad spot. I'm down horrendously if I win a punk, but also up horrendously at the same time.
You just define first world problems and like if you want to know what are good problems to have, is like what should I do with this $250,000 asset? I'm down so bad.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
In all seriousness,
I'd sell because like I've said this before. Not to be like a total like whatever, but like people will make fun of me for this one, but like I've said this before, like I want to earn a punk to the point where like I can buy a punk with disposable income and be like, damn, I did that. I think winning one, I will probably sell one.
Well, am I wrong in thinking that that's also ordinary income? You win $250,000 in a raffle like that, you gotta that's gonna be a $250,000 hit on your.
Whatever the equivalent is of winning something on the Price is Right type shit. So like I'd have to do the math on that for sure. Like
not to go off on this tangent, sorry. There's going to be people, I have a feeling, that aren't going to realize this, and they're going to get hung with a tremendous tax bill in 2026 and not going to have any.
Or they're just not going to realize it, and then they're going to get in trouble, and in like 3 years, they're going to be paying back taxes when they realize it. I mean, that's why we love Awaken. We've worked with Awaken. We gave away some subs. We gave away some money courtesy of Awaken. Like, I manage my taxes closely throughout the year because I work in crypto and because I'm an entrepreneur, which means that like, you're getting, oh man, someone paid me, $2,000 for something. That means that I've got to put $1,000 aside for taxes and $1,000 I could use to pay for stuff. And then I got to put that aside and calculate that. So like, and then I got to pay my estimated taxes every quarter on whatever it is. And that's not nearly enough always because they give me estimated taxes and they're always shitty calculations that don't add up right. And so then so anyway, long story short, to put the train back on the tracks, I think what's really interesting about this Good Vibes Club strategy is that everybody said like, fuck it, launch a strategy token. And I think in this space, I'm not saying people are lazy because that's not the case. I'm saying that Ty and Chris are big brained and thinking about it the right way, where I worked the reason I like Ty and Chris is when I worked at, whether it was Nestle or Progressive or at an agency or whatever, when we would have something big come in, we go, how do we maximize this? How do we make this work as well as possible for us? And I think a lot of people were like, oh yeah, strategy. That'll be a cool little flywheel. We'll make a little money. People sell some stuff. And Ty and Chris said, well, wait a minute. How can we make this work for us in the best way possible? And how do we maximize it? And I think that aspect of it is super interesting to me. By the way, Good Vibes Club floor up a decent amount since we started, actually 0.02 since we started the show. So if you had bought at the beginning of the show with the royalties, I think you would need
Captain Pump's hitting.
I think you would need to hit 0.8, which there's a lot of room for. In fact, one that I sold like at some point this morning is already listed at a neutral. They bought it for me for 0.75 and they're listing it for 0.7925, which means that's about. So if you want to know about what the number is, Somebody who bought one for me from 0.75 this morning is listing it for 0.7925. So that's about what you probably need to break even on the cash. It's a clean one too.
It's cooking.
Yeah.
Glad I delisted because my other one that I talked about this morning when I woke up that I freaked out, I thought it would have sold. It would have sold by now. I think I had it at 0.769, so it would have just sold. Good GG me. And also I did some quick search and did some quick math. If you win a CryptoPunk, current floor is $250,000, right? 250, give or take.
I thought it was like 225, but yeah, something around
Let's
that.
just use 250 for easy math. Or well, let's use if it's so basically just the CryptoPunk itself, that puts you in the 35% tax bracket in the US. So just like if you made no money and all you did was win a CryptoPunk this year, next tax season you're going to owe $87,500 to the feds. So like cool to win, but know that if you don't sell the thing, you got to come up with nearly $100,000 to pay your tax bill.
Yeah, I'm like again, like that's why it's like kind of I've joked around like people, would you keep the punk? I'm probably a net seller on that stuff. Not all of it, but like some of it, depending on which was in my buy. Like I said, I'm probably gonna end up with like a doodle or something, right? I'm probably gonna end up with like a mythic. I'm not like counting on, when you look at the fees, like I think people misestimate like that, like people like out of rewards programs, obviously people want these boxes to be plus EV, and this is the best opportunity for it. But I think people understand or calculate, like they're like, well, I got all the way up to this box, therefore 300 people aren't getting a Pudgy Penguin. It's like it is still a loot box. Now the good news is they have all those fungible tokens which represent the most of their rewards program. I was actually trying to get some opinions on the rewards program yesterday. There's one guy, I unfollowed him. He was like a French ape who was being incredibly rude to me, probably on brand.
The French ape?
It was a French ape. I don't know which French ape. I unfollowed him because I said they were being rude because they made
I don't know if it's a bit or if it's the one I'm talking about. Like that's just how he moves.
No. Like it was like they would legitimately like answer the question, then they would also make some rude, shitty comment to me at the end of each one. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna end this conversation because they're being rude. They're like rude, like something sensitive, something. I'm like, you must. I
think Marcel's just like that.
Hold on, who is it?
Marcel.
It was I'll tell you who it was. Nope, it was Alvo, and he unfollowed me as well apparently because they were upset that I unfollowed them, which is fine. It's ALVEOLES, Avoles or something. I mean, they're just being incredibly rude, like in every comment, and I was like rude, and they're like, "Oh, you must be sensitive." I was like, "Thank you for proving my point," but I gave up because I was legitimately asking. So, D-Farmer was like talking about it, and I was like, "How would you do it differently?" I'm legitimately curious. Like, would you just do fungible tokens? Would you have?
Right. Pissed at the bricking of his floors. He feels that this OpenSea farm is leading to.
Well, and we talk about this at the time where we're like, what is our solution to a problem if we see a team doing it, right? And so I was kind of asking, like, what's the problem? And he's like, you're not understanding. D-Farmer was like, you're not understanding. Your fees are being used to buy back. I'm like, right, but like, do you just want them to lower the fees? And that's like what people do. Like, so you're not going to please everybody.
I think it partially is wording. I think like I've seen a couple people because we're investing, millions of dollars into like you're investing your users' fees. Like I guess it's just I think it's. But
like, how else would you? I mean, they're doing their own reserve, and they did put their own money up front first. To be fair, but like my question is like, I guess like you have the same fees as like Magic Eden, and they don't do this. But like maybe you think it's bad because you don't like it. But like for example, if people care more about NFTs, like, do you want it to be more fungible token related? Like, that's an example of something where it's like, if D-Farmer's like, look, I love NFTs. I'm going to be doing a lot of volume here. I'm buying and selling, yada, yada, yada. Like, should we just buy, fungible tokens, for example? Like, that's one example of a solution. But yeah, this French ape was being just, again, on brand, really nasty to me. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to end this conversation. I unfollowed them. And I was like, they're like, oh, you must be very sensitive. I'm like, it's not sensitive. It's like, I enjoy engaging in Discord. By the way, this is exactly the type of situation where I guarantee you people like this aren't going to look me in the face and say nasty shit to me in person. And it's like just like light little jabs here and there. They're going to do it via they're going to just do it via like text. And then you see them in person like, oh yeah, all fun and games. It's like, no, like you're not my friend. You don't know me. Like Cap making the little comments here and there or Joey or whoever, that's different. But yeah, I just, long story short, I just like, it's like that sort of thing where it's like, oh, you're being sensitive. It's like, I'm just trying to have a conversation. Like I enjoy intellectual discourse to understand like, okay, this is a fair this is a fair issue that we're seeing right here. Like, how would you solve it? Because this is the first iteration of, and they're going to, assumedly, it seems like do another season. So how could they improve it versus what's, what you hate about it? And D-Farmer just doesn't like the fees are being invested. I'm like, okay, so like you want them to lower fees below that. Like, I don't know. So it's just understanding like what the opportunity is always something I'm curious about. Cause I think a lot of people are frustrated with it. And I get that. I don't know. So it's a small thing, but it's like, you'll complain about something, Cap, and then you'll be like, this is how I would do it differently. And this is what I don't like. I think it's important to have that, but,
GVC clicked off another 0.01 up to 0.78 and the top offer at 0.75. We might have a good old-fashioned cook on our hands, Steve. This chart I'm showing, shout out to Jeremy, who joined us yesterday from VFriends. This NFT floor price, they've got a good dashboard here. You can see this MNAV, they've got market cap plus divided by treasury value, 36.45. Only 882 holders of the strategy token. That probably just... in my debate of do I buy a GVC here or do I buy Vibestr? If this thing becomes a year from now, Good Vibes Club is still supporting and it really does stick as their ecosystem token, there's going to be a lot more than 882 holders. Like that by brand coin standards, by any fungible token standards, that is next to zero. So I could see at some point, I think right now, most of these holders are people that are deep in strategy. They're speculators. They've been following this, all the strategy launches, or they're Good Vibes Club holders have been waiting for this. If this thing continues, let's say, just play this out. Hypothetically, it goes from a $8, $9, $10 million market cap to a $50 million market cap. You're going to see some of your favorite KOLs start talking about Vibestr on the timeline as a token. Like, forget strategy, forget everything else. Chart looks good. It has real mechanics to keep the chart looking good. And in the world of fungible tokens, less than $10 million is nothing. So I would be, not that I do believe the NFT floor price goes up from here. As I mentioned, I had one that would have sold. Thankfully, I changed that list price this morning. I just think that the Vibestr token, now it's hard to say because none of the others, it's already the highest of all the others, but this is very different from the ones that came before. It's the first one to be the official ecosystem token. And if that takes off, there's going to be a lot more than 882 holders.
Yeah, we'll go to Joey in a second, but yeah, that's one of those things. The other thing I'll say about this that I find interesting is this is also not a flipper collection. Like when Moonbirds were cooking, people were or Moonbirds or Mythics or Oddities, people were buying and then listing like slightly higher because there's no royalties. With royalties in this, like I mentioned, somebody bought from me for 0.75 this morning. They're listed at 0.7925, and it's now like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In 13 sales, they get there. So it's been cooking because that's quite a few sales. But you can't just buy and relist and expect to get your money back because you will have to go deep onto the listings with a floor to get there. So it's not that simple as a flippers collection, which makes it interesting because now people who are buying are generally speaking are buyers because they have to be willing to hold for at least, you can't just hold like when people were buying oddities on that cook and they were holding them for 13 seconds. That's not what's going to happen here. Like this.
Remind me to come back to oddities. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, this is like not one where you can just buy and hold it for like all of 13 seconds. Like this is one where there's a nice I don't like the XS. I was looking one that I might buy for Dawn. But like this is one where it's like you need to be willing to hold for a long period of time if you want to break even if you are a flipper. So it's not a flippers collection per se. So yeah, shout out to the whales who are buying at like 0.4 and things and sweeping through. It's like they can responsibly list and do just fine for themselves. But there's one that I looked at forever ago that listed not too far above floor 2. But let's go ahead and throw Joey back in, then we'll get your take on oddities here.
Also, Joey, this is your on your data, this strategies.ntpricefloor.com. It's got the data you gave us earlier. It's got a dashboard tracker here. So it currently could buy 609 items. Time to purchase all these items, to your point, would be a week, 6.4 days, and time until next purchase, 15 more minutes. Thanks for sharing this, Jeremy.
Yeah, right on.
So it's actually more than every 12 minutes. Longer, I mean.
Close though, yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, go ahead, say hi. Hi. Joseph wanted to say hi to everybody. Go ahead, say hi. Okay. They've been waiting to say hi. Something you just brought up, Steve and Cap, which is the community itself with GVC. Like, I think that because this is a newer PFP collection, right? Like, it just launched in 2025. It has a very vibrant and active community that believe in Ty and Chris and Mason and all of these other guys on that team and what they're building. And I think you're seeing the difference versus a collection that launched 3 years ago and doesn't really have that active a community and doesn't really have a lot that they're building. Like, to your point about the 828 Vibestr holders, yeah, I'd wager a lot of those are probably strategy people that are playing the strategy game, but I'd bet over 50%, maybe even 75% of those holders are probably GVC holders that believe in Ty and Chris and what they're building. So you've got people diamond handing the NFTs, you've got people diamond handing the token, and to your point, the KOLs and the traders and whatever haven't even gotten in yet with only 828 holders. So something else to consider with, launching these strategy tokens is how strong is your community? Is your community going to support you and not brick the floor and not sell off the token the first chance they get is a 2x? And we're seeing that now because they have built a strong community that is still growing and vibrant based on the fact that it's still young.
Yeah, there's opportunity there. Of course, it can always go the other direction. So I know we're excited this morning, but just to be clear to people, like, there could be a world where, a whale bricks the floor.
I was talking about this, Steve. Appreciate one word of caution. Big difference between Good Vibes Club and a lot of the legacy collections is it's not been distributed nearly as much. The unique holder is like 27%. There's a lot of whales in the collection. Now, I do believe
that's like half of Bored Ape Yacht Club for reference, by the way. I think Bored Ape Yacht Club is between 50 and 60%.
Yeah, I think all the like apes, pudgies, etc. They're all over 50% now, I believe.
Yeah. So anyway, just for reference for people.
That said, I do believe that most of the whales inside of Good Vibes Clubs, most like our friend Dort, I think they're good actors. They're not holding hundred Good Vibes Club NFTs purely as a speculative trade. I think, based on how I've seen them talk in the timeline, I do believe that many of them, it's their way of making a long-term bet on the team. And I don't think they are, and like, again, if they were looking for that, a lot of them probably would have took their exit yesterday. But again, just worth noting as a data point, 27% unique owners is very low relative to some of the other collections.
Yeah, it's definitely
the strategy contract's not going to dump on the floor on you. There could be a holder there that does. If you're trading the NFTs, that's what I'd be on the lookout for. If you see if you see one wallet list 50 of these things, or if you see a wallet that consistently start dumping into bids and you look in their wallet and they've got 50 more, your spidey senses should be up.
Also, as a side note, I probably screwed something up yesterday because I thought yesterday was Friday because my brain is completely scrambled. So teams coming on Tuesday of Good Vibes Club, I need to send some invites out. Teams coming on Tuesday. We probably could have had them on today at 9:00, and I thought today was Saturday because my brain is just completely in a pretzel of time right now. There's just too much going on in life right now for me as far as like family goes. Like, my son had 6th grade camp. My daughter's got a birthday coming up. We've got birthday party stuff. We've got 14 is a wild number for me as a dad. We've got lunches and soccer games and all this other stuff. And I thought today was going to be Saturday last night when I was having this conversation. In fact, I told Erica Lee, I'm probably going to do the giveaway on Monday. Maria, you're going to definitely secure one of these books. So Maria, if you're still listening, DM me one of your, DM me your home address or an address I could send it to. I'll get it packaged up. And Maria, do you have I don't know if Maria's listening. Do you have a signed copy of the Everything token? If not, I'll get you one of those too. But,
so someone mentioned sorry to interject.
No, go ahead. It's
no, there is. Okay. A couple people mentioned this space last night with the Good Vibes Club's founders. I first went to it. It looked like there was no recording on Atari who hosted, but the blocks reposted it and the recording is available. So for any of you that don't want to wait until Tuesday to hear from Ty and Chris, They did a 2-hour space last night. I just pinned that up top.
Yeah, so we'll see how they're using this and kind of get some announcements today. People bullish on it though. I mentioned my my one that someone bought at 0.75 right like minutes before the show and listed at 0.7925. A few minutes ago, I said it was like 14 to get there. It is now on the first row of OpenSea on the floor. It is 6 up now. So it'll
yeah, we could pop another. It's 0.79. Like we're getting the coffee with Captain Pump this morning. Like every minute that goes by, not only is Good Vibes Club strategy buying, not every minute, every 15 minutes, they're buying a token. The floor price is ticking up by 0.01 ETH.
Yeah. It's funny because this is also the one collection where it's like, I feel like most of the time I shop aesthetics as I'm going through the floor to make sure that I have one that I'd be comfortable with holding. But there's a lot of like every like few, there's one that I'm like, man, that one looks
Great
good.
collection. I mean, it really is a really well done collection. And as I mentioned yesterday, just dropped this year, but they were been working on this collection for legitimately 3 years. The traits are good. They all look like some collections, their floors are just most of these are quality. And the other thing with this strategy is it is blind floors. Like grails aren't getting listed on the floor. So it's like it's pulling some of these out of, or at least temporarily, or again, they're getting relisted, but way better than the vicious cycle that was the recycling on Blur, where it was just the crazy eyes that kept getting Sorry Finn and anyone else that's holding crazy eyes, but just continue to, the OpenSea or the blockchain history on some of these they got Blur farmed to hell is crazy. It's just not happening here. Like it's just it's this brings me back like the volatility, the sell-off, people who held through the sell-off, and now you're seeing this face melt today. It's Diablito in the abstract chat said this hyper financialization of NFTs is kind of turning me off. You may not like to hear it, but this is part of the magic, man. This is what brings other eyeballs into NFTs. You can eat more than just the hyper financialization, but when you have a good team that is in this space, that they're working with the community, they've got a loyal community, there is good art, they're doing all the things. This is the fanning of the flames. Because it can be because it is a digital asset, we can do so much more with these assets than Ty and Chris decided, like, here's 7,000 pieces or 69 pieces of unique art that you can go and put on your wall. I can't do anything with this. I don't own it, first of all, but even if I did, there's nothing I can do with that. There's a dolly print on the wall over here. I can't do anything with that. No, like literally nothing. The only thing I can do is sell it. Like, it's just like, I do believe that the financialization and the ability to make these functional, productive assets.
It's programmable software, whether it's financial or otherwise. I mean, that's the thing that like I try to explain to people that they can't click with. It's like,
it's what makes it's huge. It's part of what makes NFTs great. And you don't have to participate in all the financial stuff, but like you said, it's programmable software. That's what we're seeing again, Steve. We're seeing innovation. We're seeing experimentation. They're programming against this stuff. And for so long, like that got lost. And that's what gets me more excited than the price action. Everything else is we're seeing new stuff again related to NFTs. And the last new stuff we saw was blur farming, which was horrible for NFTs.
Yeah, by the way, I may end up selling one that I just bought and buying another one off the floor now because the floor is now almost up to 0.8 and there are some fire ones around the floor that I really like. So it's a cook. Eventually I'm going to get caught on this, but there are ones I like that are better than the ones I currently have, or I could actually just swap out and buy a third and kind of try to list my other one at a good profit. But they're moving, man. They're moving. Good Vibe Club are moving. We are seeing real-time activity with these things moving on Coffee with Captain, for sure. So I'm debating if I'm going to make another play. I also like if I buy another one.
What's the market cap on Vibestr right now?
Great question, Joey Vowels. I will go try to check.
8.
What is it?
8.8.
Yeah, so I missed the Vibestr launch, didn't get in really quickly, and so like I've only seen it around 8, so I'm missing about a 10% jump on that one. But man, this is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one to follow today. And at least right now, there is a nice little cook happening for people. And I know I'm excited to see people. I like when people eat, man. I like when people eat.
We're a few sales away from 0.8. Like, we're probably, if it keeps going, we're going to hit 0.8 before the show's over. There's 12 sales before 0.8.
I actually, at the point it's moving, I would be surprised if we don't hit 0.8 before the show ends. But I shall see. I got to see like what my listing price would have to be to break even on the current one I have, because I kind of want to like I don't want to make it not too much of a negative thing, but I also am looking at like some of these and thinking, man, there's one on the floor that you could probably guess if you look at the floor that I'm like, that one just seems so nice. There's maybe one trade on it I don't like, but it's pretty sick. There's a few I like on there actually. Cap, why don't we do this? While I debate whether I'm going to make irresponsible financial moves with thousands of dollars live on a stream, let's do our daily market update, because then we got to get someone playing Death Fun again, because we got more money to win and give away. Joey's going to come on the stream next week, so people want to play Death Fun. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pick a Death Fun player today. If you were listening, I pinned to the top. If you scroll a few over, I'll repin it. Erica Lee's book is up for sale. I am a fan of Erica as a human. She's a good person. She's a participant in the space. I'm going to repin it up top on the front. It is $14 to mint that book. Assuming we don't completely shit the bed on this, you're going to walk away with $100 if you play Death Fun today, because most people have walked away with $100. And in fact, Teacher Katie didn't. We ran it back. We got her that. Zane, we're going to run back at some point. We are going to try to get you to that first 4 clicks and get you the cash out at least. So one person who buys Erica Lee's book puts it in the comments right now. And if you're still there, by the way, because we like it when you're there. So like Maria, if you're still there, just be like, hey, I'm still here. I think I saw Forum Chaos did. In the comments of the space or of abstract or whatever, $14, go to Erica Lee's page, mint it for $14. You will be entered to win one of these books, because I'm going to pick someone to win it. I'm going to send one to Maria for sure, but there's another one up for grabs. And 2, one of you will get to play Death Fun. So we'll play Death Fun at some point here soon, but let us know if you mint that, and we will do a Death Fun run, and we will try to do a God run for you for sure. But we will try to make sure you walk away with at least $100. We can't guarantee it. We might lose, but we will do our best to do that. So that is my plea this morning. I'm not asking you to, like, you want to use the ref link, great. That helps us out a ton. You want to potentially win $100. It's a $14 entry point at that point. And it can't guarantee I'm going to pick you to play Death Fun, although if you're listening, you buy. We still got a lot of Death Fun runs to go here, probably another 50 or something. So got opportunities, but buy Erica's book for $14. It's not a physical book. You're getting the digital in that. You'll be entered to win a physical and opportunity to get a Death Fun run today if you do it in the near future. So let me know if you did, and we'll do that. But let's do the daily market update while we watch the Good Vibes Club light floor absolutely be lava.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by Apecoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on 8chain, we bringing the heat. NFT trends alpha, never miss a beat. 8chain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, figures now what's next. Come on, my head top, money for the time, and chop for one time.
It is time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs, the home of Project Raid, where Tebow reigns king, apparently atop the leaderboard. ApeChain going to Solana, ApeChain going to Hyperliquid, ApeChain going to BNB next, which should be fun as they continue to cook through. ApeChain has it all, bringing fun, culture, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap, markets, good vibe club cooking, but market's kind of flattish today, right?
Yeah, except for one. Guess what it is?
Vibestr.
Well, Vibestr is cooking, but also our precious ape coin up for almost 5% on the. Oh, that's the week. Never mind. Hold on. It is up on the day though as well. Up almost 4% on the day. When to your point, the rest of the market not performing quite as well. Looking at majors, Bitcoin down 2% to 121, ETH down 1% to 43.47, XRP is flat, Solana down 2%, Doge flat, and Cardano, our favorite stablecoin, also flat. Looking at other memes, Pingu up 1%. Doge flat, Sheeb up down 1%, Pepe flat, Meme Core down 2%, Pump Fund down 2%. As we mentioned, Vibestr the big winner on the day, and ApeCoin showing strength heading into Ape Fest. Not a coincidence, I don't believe. Looking at NFTs, Far World Creatures flat on the day with some serious volume. I think that's the $5 OpenSea farm, I believe, the gaming NFT farm. Milady's down 1%, Little's down 2%. Pix Cats, yeah, it looks like a $5 gaming. I'm guessing this is a gaming in a collection. Anytime you see these like 100,000 sales, 33,000 sales, that math looks off, looks too high. With the $5 price point, DX Terminals, another one. These are just OpenSea farms. No one's really buying these things. Big Pudgy's down 2.4% to 9.19. Moonbird's down 8% on the day to 2.8. Apes down 1% to 8.72. Checks rebounded a little bit, up 1% to 0.48. And then we mentioned the OpenSea farm. You probably could have made serious wealth just simply trading DX terminal buys and sells this off the back of the OpenSea farms.
I wish I was patient and good at that, by the way, because I saw people who would like buy a ton of them at a certain price. By the way, Emlo did minted Emlo's collection as well. But like I was looking through the comments and got distracted by a thing there. I saw people who like would literally buy it at like it's like a 0.01 difference, but they bought a shitload and then they would buy more. And very cool to see just how people would be able to play that way cooler than I would. I would like buy and be like, I'm immediately dumping. Oh my God, the floor's down a little bit. And there are people who just bought a bunch, held them, next farm, went up, sold them. So look, it's a financial game. People are winning. It's no different than trading stocks at this point for people. So it's happening. But to your point, I bet somebody could have played that really well and made a lot of money.
Maybe. I just, on the $5 ones, I don't know if it moves enough by the time you pay fees. There's just so much velocity, so many getting relisted. It doesn't really pump. It's like a stable coin that just goes back and forth. You're just running super lean margins on those. But as we've been talking about all morning, the big winner of the day, Good Vibes Club, up 28% following their strategies launch, up to 0.8 almost. It'll hit 0.8 before we get off the show here today. And the one thing I mentioned oddities in passing, I want to go back to. I'm just curious your thoughts here. I don't know, and I'm just curious. Like I don't quite understand. The Mythics have been sliding down. They're now 0.32 floor, down 7% on the day. You called this out yesterday. While Mythics are sliding down, chart looks similar, but oddities climbing up. Was down to 0.24. I think that's where I actually bought mine. If I mark the bottom here, maybe I should start trading NFTs again, Steve. I bought mine at 0.24. So I'm going to be big flex up, being up 0.05 on my thing. Although you look at sales, a lot of WETH, a lot of get dumped into WETH bids right now. But yeah, just any thoughts on? I don't know where. I have to go back. Looking at the past month, they were as low as basically 0.2. Yeah, and I think when they were 0.2, Mythics were like, I want to say 0.4. What's driving that? Is it simply the token and people are realizing that the allocation is going to be maybe
probably the same? Here's the thing that, like, for people, I think historically, I think worth this discussion. By the way, Dow's Daily Market Update brought to you by ApeCoin. As always,
Ape is literally on top today. Outside of Vibestr strategy, ApeCoin is the big winner of the day.
Big winner of the day. Here's the thing about Mythics. One, I mean, look, I tried to force myself into it. I'm not a huge fan of the Mythics art. It's fine.
Oh, really?
I like certain ones. I think a lot of them are just busy and meh. Just my again, not trying to yuck anyone's yum. I see certain ones and I'm like, that one's clean. I see a Zelda one or whatever. Cool. Generally speaking, not my jam as far as like the style of them. Like I like some of the clean ones, but there's a lot of like kind of like it's one of those collections where, like
too much. Yeah.
It's
too many trades.
Antithesis of a Good Vibes Club to me. In Good Vibes Club, I look at the floor and I'm like, there's 5 I would buy there. I look at like Mythics and I'm like I kind of got to get through. Like that one with the hood's fine. Like there's like a metal glowing eye like thing over its head. It's not my like I have a couple Mythics. I plan on selling at least one of them. But I like oddities way more than Mythics. I think a lot of people.
I think it's a 30-day chargeable, but I'm pretty sure that it wasn't long ago. Oddities, when they were 0.2, Mythics were 0.4. So they were 2x the price, and now they're pretty close to being
pretty close. 0.04 difference.
Super thin. Like it doesn't take much for Mythics to like one sleep could send them right back up to 0.4. But that was my question: is it just simply people betting that the token allocation is going to be the same?
Yeah, and I think what's happened here is there is this historical perspective here. There's this historical perspective that people have, which is like Mythics were dropped and then they had no utility and they were just art and they made a whole thing about them. And they were CC0 and everyone's like, oh my God. And then Mythics tanked or whatever from like when they were like oddities. I'm like, fuck. Oddities dropped, CC0, all the things like whatever. So oddities dropped. And there's this historical issue that people have where they think about oddities as what they were when they're like, these are just art. Then you look over and you see, sort of the mythics. And they were like, this is our secondary collection. We're going to build IP around these. These are going to have all sorts of stuff. Spencer hasn't committed to building any IP around oddities or mythics or moonbirds. We don't know what he's doing with them. As far as we know, mythics and oddities are the same thing. We don't know any better. And I think people are realizing that the historical usage of them via K-Row and team is not the same as how Spencer's going to use them. I think a lot of people, myself included, I like the oddities art. If people are curious, I mean, I enjoy it. I have one that I was a oddity that was with my moonbird. I no longer have that moonbird. I kept the oddity. I like the oddity. I bought another one with the crown that I really like. I bought another one with the backwards hat I really like. I like the oddities, and I think a lot of people do too. It's Gremplin. Gremplin's an artist that a lot of people respect and enjoy. So my read on it is that people are realizing they're probably going to get the same token allocation or pretty darn close. Maybe people like the art better, maybe not. It's different strokes for different folks. And I think there's just more people going into those versus saying like, hey, are mythics even going to be using IP? Are they not? So I think like those floors are coming together for that reason. And it's probably the right move. It's just, I'm surprised because I think what we're seeing is they're holding a nice floor. They're obviously up, over time, since Spencer took over. But I think the announcement stuff is holding them back a little bit because it was, it's like, even like it's like there's going to be a BIRB token soon-ish. And so I think the soonish part and everything, it's like they pump for an hour, then they dump back below pre-pump prices. I just think I'm going to be curious because a lot of people are getting into this for the financial aspect of it. Obviously, financially, Spencer has done a lot of work. He was a big Blur guy. He invested in World Liberty Financial, did well there, all these things. If this is the crowd you're attracting, I could see people getting like antsy of the fact they're like, these things have been kicking around from, if you're talking about mythics, like, I don't know, what is it, like 0.28 to 0.34 and back and forth over and over again for a while? Like when token, when this, I think the natives will get restless unless we get a movement because we got a token announcement. Like I said, we got a 1 hour pump on a token announcement, basically. Something like that. A couple hours, maybe tops, right? Because we were on the show live when it dropped, and two mythics or one mythic and two oddities I have are underwater at the moment, right? So at what point do we see that? We saw he made a comment back to Cyrus about the packs that they got, the collectible of I don't know what that comes, I don't know when, having some good things. That was pumped for a period of time. They kicked back again. So I just don't know, Cap. Like I'm waiting for that part of it. But I think to your mythics and oddities point, I think people are looking at tokens the same. This is a new team. Why should these be any different? And I think my personal take is I like the oddity art better. I just do. So I just don't know that mythics are going to hold in that way. Good Vibes Club up to 0.8, by the way, now fully on the floor. So like I said, I was telling Crocs was making a comment like I was sitting there looking at the floor when it was down to 0.5 being like, oh man, people are just going to keep undercutting this thing, huh? And now at 0.8, the one I bought, up to 0.81 as I spoke. Now the one I bought this morning on the show for 0.75 with the royalty, if I list, is neutral or up. What's that?
Already resold, right?
No. I didn't resell this one yet.
I thought you said you sold one and someone else relisted it at 0.79.
Someone did. So that happened this morning. Someone
they've already
before the show. Then I bought one on the show at 0.75, and now I could relist it and make money on it in the show with royalties. Crazy.
Yeah, it's man, take me back to 21. It was so much fun.
Well, for the first time in a long time, I said to myself this morning, 4 sales left at a 0.75 floor. 4 sales left till 0.76. Like, how often do we count? When was the last time we counted X sales till an ETH, X sales till 0.8, X sales till this? Like, when was the last time we did that?
Last time I did it was when there was X sales till Bored Apes hit 20 ETH again.
Yeah, man.
A few more than what it was the last time I counted. But yeah, looking good, man. And I don't, the thing is, how does it slow down? Like, if unless these whales brick the floor, as the floor price continues to go up, it's just like the flywheel increases in strength. Their buying power of that treasury goes down, but they have how many NFTs that are listed for more than what they bought are now going to sell. Like I don't know. Things could get silly. Market cap of the token back up over 9 mil again too. So, fun times.
Yeah, I mean it's
Someone flipped 9 to 10. Yeah,
it's a wild thing. It's a wild thing. We haven't seen anything quite like this. Again, the fact that it's been sustained all morning too.
825, fucking ripping 8.3. Yeah.
You want to know? You want to know what I like about this too? You want to know what I like about this? Is that
listening? This is the coffee with Captain Pump. I can't speak for Steve. I can be bought. You know what? I'm going to go do it right now. I couldn't find it in my phone. Did something change? Maybe I'm sure it's on my end. It's probably an Apple update. I used to be able to like for instance, I just did this on my phone. I was attempting to change my profile picture, but when I go into my X photos from my, it shows like every photo I've ever added to X. And they just show me like the cloud image, and they never load. It's like almost unless it's like a image I just posted recently. If I post it like 2 weeks, it's like impossible to find old photos. The only way I can do is go in and like screenshot. That's why the top mic is this a me issue?
I have no idea. I don't even know what this is that you're talking about. I don't even know what you're describing at the moment. So
very hard to post photos on X from my phone.
Got it. I have not had issues personally.
It's hard to post. It's hard to find ones I want to post because they just don't show the actual image. It's just like a box.
Oh, I'll check on it because I have not had that issue recently, but I can't guarantee I will not have that issue. So, I'd have to look at it. I haven't done it in a bit. Yeah, man, this is fun, man. And you know what? I like this. This reinforces like actual, like kind of real thoughtful Again, this is not a slight at, I think Spencer's doing a tremendous job. He's financial, he's handling stuff, but he's doing sort of the 2021 playback announcement of the announcement, all that stuff. He got a pump for an hour. Good Vibes Club doing something very interesting here. And they've been pumping since yesterday midday and continue to just steadily go. I know that the buy is there with strategy, but like this to me is a very good indicator that like they're doing something that is ecosystem positive and the ecosystem is responding. And like people who are trying to flip, like I said,
it's new. We didn't get an announcement. We just got it. We knew it was coming. It wasn't overhyped. They did their thing. They rolled out some stuff. They've got more coming today, and it's new. I believe Spencer probably has some new things up his sleeve for the BIRB token, but so far it's looking like the same playbook we've seen, and unfortunately, most of them don't play out well. I have confidence. I think he's going to do a few things up his sleeve, but to your point, like he's kind of running back the playbook that he knows from Pudgies and others. This is different, and I think that matters.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, like, I mean, like the people buying now, if you buy 0.83, I would guess.
Stars. He's not saying this. He's not saying Spencer is any of these things. He's our in-house thesaurus.
Yeah. Cap's like, what's another word for a book that has words that could tell you other words? Thesaurus. That's a very deep meta joke right there. Scott would find that funny. I don't know if that was like too nerdy for people. Like if you buy now at 0.83, you probably got to list at like 0.9 to make money. So it's like people buying now are buying. Like they're buying thinking either A, they're betting on this thing run into an ETH or something, or they're buying because they want to buy. Which is exciting as I look at this floor. I think about the fact that like I was literally looking at buying one at like 0.72 on this show. Remember a minute ago when I was like, I could sell mine and buy one at 0.72, 0.73. I could, or 0.75 or whatever it was. I was like looking at one. I'm like, maybe I'll sell, maybe I'll switch some ETH over, yada, yada, yada. I think it was 0.75 or something when I was saying that, like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, 0.83. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to run, what's that?
Chart looks beautiful.
I mean, dear God, it's beautiful. We're going to run a death fund run today, and we're going to run a death fund run, and you and I are going to handle it because I think it's just the X chat for now. We will get our friends, like I said, those who buy. If you buy Erica's book, make sure to tag me and let me know. We're gonna do it for Maria. We're gonna do a Maria run right here. And since Maria's in the X chat, we'll do it 100% for her, unless she gets in one of the other chats. You can, whether it's the X video or abstract, to kind of give us instructions. But I think we're gonna run this whole thing for her. We're gonna try to win Maria some cash here in a second. I'll pin the ref link to the top. Like I said, I'm asking people to buy Erica Lee's book for $14 today if you are so inclined. Let us know and tag me if you do. But if you also want to do the Death Fund ref link, I'll pin that up top. You get $20 in gameplay. I'll get you there. But we'll ask for that on a future day, because today I'm trying to help out a person who has done a lot to the space, as far as like covering a lot of great things in this space. So excited about that. So we're gonna do a Death Fund run here. The Death Fund coffee with Captain run. So we're gonna go for Maria right now. We got to share it on screen. As mentioned, we're gonna go at least 4 here to try to see what we can do to help her out, Cap. So I'm gonna shoot from the hip right off the bat, and I'm gonna go right, left, middle, left. All right, we're cashing out Maria $100 right now. So Maria, guess what?
GG's. It's the way to do it. I think this is the strategy for Death Fund.
If we can, we try to get cute with it. So I'm going to make sure I go to my Google Doc, and I'm going to cash out here, and we are going to lock in Maria. I just went crazy on that one. We are going to lock in Maria, that $100, that 0.002 right off the bat. Great community member. Like I said, I was talking to someone the other day, said as ideal of a community member as you could ask for in any community. So pressing the payout on the blockchain right now. So we'll let that process out. It's taking a second. Once it processes out, we can go for a few runs. Although we shall see. Maybe stuck in a wheel of there we go, abstract. All right. Here we go, Cap. I'm gonna let you do a run because I just did the cash run, then we'll do one together. Hit me.
Right is right. Right never fails on Death.Fund. Right is right. Right is right. 2.
All right. You want to keep running? You want me to take over with the high pressure situation? What do you want to do?
How far are we running?
I mean, she's already cashed, so we can run as far as we want to run.
You take this one.
All right, we're going to go middle.
Right.
Ah! All right. We're going to
3
try
right in a row. That's effed up. Death Fund.
They were listening. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start. All right. We're gonna do one more after this. And if not, we will get Maria her money courtesy of Death Fund, the $100. But hey, she bought a book for $14 that I asked her to hey, mint, support a good person in the space. She probably would have done it anyway. She's a good egg. And now she's getting $100 in Death Fund. Can we get this thing one more time? All right. Death Fund doesn't like us this morning. We are not no God runs this morning, but hey, look, Maria, we crashed out kind of hard there. Didn't get as far as we would have liked, but we did get you that $100 courtesy of Death Fund, that 0.022 ETH. So Maria, 2 things for me. Email me, DM me your mailing address that you would like to send the book to. And if you don't have a signed copy of the Everything token, I'll throw one of those in there as well. And then also DM me your Abstract Global Wallet. So your Abstract Global Wallet, whatever you set up on Abstract, because we have the cash there that we will send to you from our Death Fund run, which should be a fun one as well. So congratulations to Maria, a great community member, big fan of Maria. We like her here, and she definitely is a good dude as well. By dude, we mean doodle, not dude.
One of the great ones, Steve, for sure. I do want to come back to that one, but real quick, if there's any good GIF ors out there, any good GIF creators, you want to do me toss me an assist this morning. There's a couple I need, but one I definitely need right now is we're bringing this shit back. We're bringing back NFTs GIF by GIF. It's been a while. We need this, like, if you search just GIF, it's now like copy pasta, like every other NFT collection derivative that went to 0 in 2022. But this one is an oldie but goodie. Wake me up, mother MFer, delist me. It's time to delist your Good Vibes Club. If anyone can recreate this, I'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, Good Vibes Club.
Double points if you drop my honorary, which is now my PFP on there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you went and PFP'd the Good Vibes Club straight up. Maybe I should do that too. I don't know. We'll see.
We're going full on coffee with Captain Pump. We got to get this thing to. We're not going to go long enough to get it to 1 ETH today, but we're gonna leave it in good hands to where we come back Monday morning. It's going to be north of 1 ETH.
Yeah, you are. So wait, let's be honest about this one as we go. So when are you a seller? At what point do you say, I feel good about this, I'm going to go ahead and let one fly? I have 2 to potentially sell, maybe 1. I actually do potentially want to pick up like another one that I like a lot.
So that's where I'm at. The 2 I have, they just don't. I love my honorary. The other 2 I have, they're fine. They've got like some rare traits. Just not, I don't like, pun intended, I don't vibe with them personally. So I would let both fly with the intent to rebuy at least one that I vibe with.
That's what I'm that's sort of my
But right now they're 0.969 and 1.269.
Yeah.
So ideally, someone goes like shopping, they vibe with mine, they buy it for 1.269. I would immediately buy another one close to the floor that I vibe with. I just think that runs for a while. I'm going to tune in, see what they announced today. And legitimately, I need to make some moves, some things I've lost conviction or I'm not long on. And the debate I have is between adding a third right now to play at that side or going for
Vibestr
strategy token. Yep.
I mean, the strategy token is going to be more liquid, obviously. So there's that like going for you. But yeah, man, I'm not sure where I'm going to play this or not. I mean, I have the 2. I might just sit comfy in the 2 and look for a sell spot for 1 and then hang on to one that I like, but it's not I'm in love with. I obviously love my honorary, which is like the one that is like truly like my sort of my go-to, like love that one. It's my PFP in Discord. I'm waiting for one. I basically blew it because I bought floor thinking that like one of them that I liked that was way above floor. And that one obviously has been sold up since because it was like 0.78 when the floor is 0.75. I'm like, I'm not going to go that high off floor. And I should have. So I'm paying attention and potentially buying one that I like with like the old, we'll call it the Steve's Wonderful Hair trade, even though it's not officially that if one were to come out. You know, because I definitely have, I definitely would like to own one and just send one to the vault that I'm just forever just like, yep, that's the one. Because I do want to own some of these, but I do, similar to you, I'm looking at potentially letting them fly. So like you kind of said you want to do that move. At what point are you comfortable letting one fly? Like when do you say it?
Well, I mean, I've got it listed right now. One's listed at 0.969, the other one at 1.269, but I've kept moving them up and I may continue to do that.
Got it. So you're
by the way, the token now is on one chart it's showing it's past $11 million market cap on the token. So should have bought earlier. Should have bought at the beginning of the show. It's also getting the coffee with Captain Pump.
If I had bought it 8 when I saw it instead of saying 8, it's kind of high. It's the highest strategy token. I don't know. So I'm yeah, I don't know. It's a it's interesting, man. It's interesting, and I just gotta. It's something to just keep an eye on. Again, for me, because I am playing a little bit of the sort of quote unquote flip game here, and trying to make sure that I'm staying above water with it and at least maintaining my one. I've also gotten much more at peace with the idea of selling something that I'm comfortable not getting the moon on, but I've gotten a profit on, or I would rather have the ETH on. And one of my Good Vibes Club I really like, it's a Rainbow Mohawk guy that I'm a big fan of with some cool glasses. Probably going to end up keeping him. One of them, I'm like, it's cool. It's got a cool vibe to it. It's fun, but I could probably let it fly. And yeah, I don't know. I need that Moonbird's Mythics pump, oddity pump, so I can get out of those and just hold my 1 and 1 again. And then I'll be in fantastic shape as far as my liquid goes, and I can finish doing some swaps to get myself to the ruby chest on OpenSea and see where the cards fall in 5 days from now. We shall see. Cap, that's a lot of Good Vibes Club talk. Honestly, it's good stuff because I mean, it's funny. Like, I love those Modern Market guys. I really do. I listen to Modern Market every day, but it's like those guys. Like, I don't know if they're at the point where they're just so rich that like they have like these bigger, really smart financial strategies. I don't know if they're just really smart and I'm a meatball who likes playing games. But there was a heavy topic on the conversation on the topic of silver today and the price of silver hitting an all-time high. And I was like, God damn, like those guys are just in a different wealth bracket than me, like buying silver and gold and the way they go about it. Yeah, man, it's something. But what else do you have on your list? I got a couple things, but what else do you have on your I got my Jupiter drops. They got delivered. I don't know if you got those delivered, but my Jupiter drops from the buying of my REKT buy. And I
saw they got delivered yesterday. I got to head back up to the mailbox since I've been semi-homeless or temporarily homeless or Airbnb for a bit. Everything's going to the I mean, I've had it forever, but I used to use for all my mailing address stuff, I just use a private mailbox. It's just now it's like used to be up the street from me. Now it's a good half-hour drive. So I have a few other, I had like a delivery each day this week, and I basically was waiting for the Jupiter drops to hit so I could just go knock them all out and pick everything up in one trip. So post show, I'm going to be driving to Dunedin. If anyone's in the area wants to grab a coffee, grab my Jupiter drops, and then heading back this way.
It's like a lime mint. It's actually it's honestly, I know we always say this, like it is actually my personal favorite because I like the peach one, but it's almost so sweet. It's like you have one, kind of good, whatever. It's a nice little treat. It's like a lime mint, which is like a flavor that I regularly go to in seltzers. So I really like that one. I actually think that and OpenSea, now that I think about it, that and OpenSea are probably my favorite when I step back. Grapefruit, a little different. Lime mint, a little different. And the MoonPay one is nice, but it's not my major jam.
I know other people have said this, friends, family, others. I'm not a fan of sugar. So I like the drinks. I just don't like drinking sugar. It's a me problem. It's not a REKT problem. Huge ambassador, huge supporter of REKT. I know they got their energy drinks coming. I think they'll have a sugar-free option at some point in the future, I hope. But I just don't like drinking sugar. So it's like, I struggle drinking them. I'm a really big weirdo. It's just one of the things when I tried to get healthy, I said no more drinking sugar, no more drinking calories, especially sugar. So anyways, that's my not fudding REKT. I love the brand, love what they're building. All that to be said, I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, my friend loved it." My first time I experienced, I brought us one of the 4-packs over and to my girlfriend's place, and she's drinking them. Like, come back another day and she's drinking one. She's like, "Oh yeah, I really like these." I'm like, "You want a case?" And so I brought her a whole case. Yeah, people actually it's not, we're not just saying it as bag holders. People actually like the drink. Like, this is a really good sparkling beverage. So yeah, if I was a drinker, it would be my mixers for sure.
Honestly, it's not a great mixer. I mixed it in with some tequila and some vodka, and because it's subtle enough, it actually doesn't mix well. So I tried it at one point recently and it didn't quite go as well, but it is tasty and happy to have it and distribute. And it's funny, I'll probably put them in a cooler at some point when I have people over in the summer for drinking, and people will think it's alcoholic when it's not. But I'll probably toss it in a little cooler. Sheba Kings, what brought you up here, GM?
Jim, yeah, it's been a minute. Thought I'd come say hello. Heard you talking about the Vibestr thing. And then silver. I mean, Cap, come on. The gold was rising. I bought 13K in silver last December. I said, honestly, if it hits $30, I'll be happy. But gold just kept running. So it was pretty noticeable that the silver was going to go too. But now I'm expecting a pullback in those metals, right? They ran the most they've ran in a while, over, especially gold over Bitcoin. So I'm expecting the next month to be like a 20% pullback in gold and a 20% jump in Bitcoin's price. So we'll see how that goes. But did they announce in the Vibe community that they were going to drop any of the tokens? Like, I mean, we usually see token like airdrops, right, to communities, and they get tokens and then they sell them. Do they have a lot of the supply where they plan on doing something like that? Or it was just mostly, hey, this is the token, now it's our official token type thing?
They bought 69 ETH worth, about $300,000.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm assuming they got in that really early. So whatever, if it's 13 million now, I don't know what their entry was on that amount, but I'm assuming their plan is to airdrop a portion of that to the active community eventually. It would make sense, right? So, and we haven't seen any other strategy do it this way. So it might work out for them. It's a little different. I've been anti-strategy token since they came out, besides the punk one. I think it's the only one that makes sense. I think with the rest of the NFT projects, our favorite projects, they're not doing good. The floors aren't doing good. I think strategies are are good, but they can be bad, right? It could be a complete reversal if there's pressure on the token or if the NFTs start dumping. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. So that's why I really don't like that at all. But and I just wanted to come say hello, say what's up. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Good to hear you always. And yeah, Steve, my mom with her XRP bag also has a decent bag of silver and I think a little gold as well, but definitely picked up a good bit of silver on my aunt's recommendation, the same aunt who recommended she add XRP to her bag. So not only being out traded by my mother, my aunt is also running circles around me.
Not sure it's great if people are running to hard assets or if it's a great sign for us as a society, but we will see how that goes. With that in mind, probably something worth putting on here as well. As we were talking REKT, I know we got about 15 minutes left in the show. I don't know if you saw this post from OSF the other day, because we talked about this. He goes, going to do something founders really shouldn't do and post a chart. A spade is a spade, and it's been a rough ride from the top, and we've had a couple of false bounces, and now competition on ETH. But in the same time frame, we've been banging out big announcements. I've been wearing it on my chin on the timeline every single fucking day, and we have been working nonstop. I can never promise anyone's price target or control the market, but you will never see us back down or go quiet when times are tough. We'll be here every fucking day. I say this a lot, and I'll say it again. Every big dip, struggle, and pullback is an opportunity to show how you can cope under pressure and give people confidence that you have willpower and ability to navigate difficult periods. I'm going to do that once again. And when things are better and bounce, just remember that it was actually these times that were most important to reinforce the confidence in us, REKT.
That's my founder.
I like the post.
It's more important than price action to me.
I like the post. I agree, because he's going to keep working. He's going to keep doing it. This, though,
I like the post too. Actually, I was going to say that out of all the founders that we know, that when there's price action like that, especially when it's negative, usually people get testy. I mean, look at Pengu, look at Dude, look at Pump.
Or they
just they all dipped to an all-time low, and then people jump in at those levels. I think it's not financial advice, but I think it's a great time to look at REKT and possibly jump in, especially when they have things outside their ecosystem. I'm not a fan of drinks in general, but if you're telling me they're tasteful and people can drink them without having a face, I think that's a step ahead of everybody else. I don't think we've had a solid drink out there that's non-alcoholic that tastes good, right? So good for him.
I get it. I mean, look, I largely just agree that, like, hey, like, I have a REKT bag. I haven't sold my REKT bag. I sold at one point when it was up a little bit. I think, like, to me, like, I agree with, this is what you want from your founder. You want your founder talking about it. You want him talking when it's down, when it's up, when it's whatever. Where I get a little bit, like, not like bad about OSF, but just in general thought, it's like, this is the danger of having a fungible token, is that you can do everything right, and if you lose attention, if you lose momentum, and people start selling, you're wearing it on your chin. So OSF is out here executing an incredible business with a great community. REKT guys doing just fine as a floor price. Selling out drops, doing major partnerships, and the token is getting cooked. And look, it's the rest of the market. Like, I assume everyone would say if Bitcoin runs to 175K, then REKT's going to run to $1 billion, right? Like, that's the thought process people have. But it is a tough spot to be as a founder, and not saying he's actually, there's a great post what you want to see from your founder. But I guess what I'll throw out there is, this is the danger of dropping a fungible token for anything, right? Like, Dude dropped a fungible token, didn't have the best plan for it right off the bat. It's ripping now. But for a period of time, people were underwater who were buying it. People
was ripping.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it is now. What's it at? Market cap.
Well, it's gonna get me in trouble again. Like we mentioned it as we exited the show yesterday. They came out with their big announcement on. I think this is their big announcement that they've been teasing for a year or so. Big, and it is big. I mean, it's a partnership with Universal, and specifically, they're going to be doodlifying and reimagining their Monsters franchise. It's a big deal, really big deal. Since the announcement, the NFTs are down 8%, and the Dude token is down 11%. I'm just stating facts. I'm not going to provide any color commentary this morning. Just stating facts. Big announcement yesterday. Dude is down 12%, and the NFTs are down 8%.
Well, it's because all that stuff isn't going to stick. It never stuck. It's not going to stick now. I mean, you can even look at Moonbirds. We're like on the edge of getting the BIRB breakdown of how much it's going to be, and the price keeps dumping. I think that's what you're going to see. People want to see things on television, Netflix and stuff, but that still won't impact price. I mean, look at Little Pudgies. They have their own little TV show on YouTube and stuff. Like, RIP's out there for these projects, but it's not reflecting on floor. Why? We need new people to buy them, right? I think that's the base mindset around this space. We need new people.
I agree wholeheartedly. There needs to be some connection with these Web 2, these normie activations that somehow brings them into crypto and Web 3. I'm not saying that it has to lead them to the OG NFT asset that's thousands of dollars. That's not realistic. I'd like to see some incorporation of dude. And I said it kind of tongue in cheek. Someone, it was Crocs in the War mentioned that there's the strategies like Good Vibes Club executed, and there's the dude playbook. And he mentioned he's a fan of Spencer following the dude playbook. And I was like kind of snarky, but I mentioned there was a dude playbook. Because if you remember when they launched the token, there was really nothing. I mean, you could have bought the Lord of Flies with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with the token except sell the token, which we've talked about. Like when that is the case.
Now,
go ahead.
Incorporate that into this. Like, I think they could be onto something here with the Doodle AI and doodlifying you or a picture you have. And when people start seeing these famous characters doodlified, it should drive more people to that. So I'm connecting some dots here. I think what they're going to do is use that universal activation to drive people to their AI studio, to get those people creating their own characters, like what they're doing with the monsters. And maybe you buy those with dude. Maybe, but I just, for the life of me, Steve, and this isn't just, it's not just doodles. It's most of the brands in the space. Why not go ahead and connect that dot for us? Because I understand why they didn't do it in the past, because that was the playbook. Oh, you can't share everything. You got to keep people speculating. You only tease them and you drip out the announcements. That worked in 21, 22. I can't be more clear when I say this. It doesn't work anymore. It's not working. People don't want the secrecy. They don't want you to do the announcements and hide what you're really going to do, or make people speculate. Because you know what? When the speculation is going the reverse direction, it's not just doodles. Same thing's happening with Moonbirds. They announced the token, but we don't know anything else about it yet. People are losing patience. Where things are heating up, there's a lot of things that can capture people's attention beyond just strategy. There's ETH just hit 200 billion in stable coins. Like there's a lot of things that people can do with their liquidity and their capital right now. They are here to speculate. I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but the market says I'm right, that people want to know what they're speculating on. It's why I'm so upset why I got so tilted with MetaMask the other day, is just tell me why I'm going to be doing this. I know you're raping me on fees, excuse my language. At least tell me what the fees are. Stop hiding this shit. And same thing when it comes to announcements. Like, okay, this is really cool. It could be really, really, really cool. Give us a little more, please, because you're seeing the market is not responding well when it's vague announcements or announcements. I can't think of one announcement or a vague announcement that the floor price shot up. People just aren't, like, it's not working anymore. It did. I understand why you do it, because that's how you announce things in 21, 22. Times have changed. The market have changed. There's no new participants here. If no announcement by itself, that's just like, oh, we're going to do this thing, is going to be enough. In fact, it's having a negative impact on floor prices. You need to give us a little more. Tell us why I want to hold this through the activation that's coming up. What are you going to do with the thing? Is it just going to be I shouldn't say just, could be a Netflix series. That would be huge. And oh, by the way, every one of those shows you see on Netflix, it's going to talk about our Doodle AI studio, which, oh, by the way, if you want to do anything in the Doodle AI studio, you're going to have to hold some dude. Now, maybe none of this is happening. Maybe it's just going to be a movie and they never tie it back to dude or doodle. I think that would be a miss. I don't think that's what they're going to do. I'm genuinely asking, why not tell us now? Because by not telling us, it's only leading to sell-offs.
I have a couple thoughts on this. I think thought number one, I would say, dude token, to be fair, I think is well above the market cap that most people sold it at when they initially dropped. So it's still up quite a bit. So like credit, like to like be fair to them on the dude token itself, like, you know, it's down like 10%, but it was at this all-time high. So the dude token is actually doing better than it was. I think most people sold it around that 75 mil market cap. It's at like 85 mil. So like it still is up and it still had a nice run. To the point you're making, and it's not just a Doodles thing, it's a Moonbirds thing, which I was kind of hinting at. Like, look, I said this before when people were like, no, don't fade Spencer. And like, again, I think Spencer's great. Like, had him on the show, like him. I trust him. I said there's only going to be so many of these announcements until the natives start getting restless and people start getting a little antsy and people start getting a little frustrated and people start getting a little bit like, what's going on? I think there's only going to be so many of those you can get away with. I can tell you exactly how I would have executed the Doodles playbook. And again, this is like, I know it's easy in hindsight. I don't know what they're allowed to release. If I'm Doodles, I do a teaser that shows a monster somehow, but it's not really just like soon or something, right? That's the announcement of the announcement, is you do some sort of like trickle in teasers for maybe a couple of days. Then when you announce the partnership, what is the partnership? What does it do? What are we unveiling here? Instead, we got like we partner with Universal Monsters. Here's some images. It's like, what does that mean? I don't know. So I think like number one, from the communications and marketing perspective, there's probably a playbook for this where it's like, you could do teasers. Teasers are fun and you can get away with it. Doing teasers, but with that's making the announcement the teaser is I don't think that works. I don't think that makes sense, right? I don't think it makes sense the way that they did it yesterday personally. That's just me from, again, different strokes for different folks. There's different ways to do it. From a communications and marketing perspective, based on my experience at the companies I worked at, like I probably would have done teaser with the monster. What's going on here? Teaser with the monster. Oh, that kind of looks like Dracula.
I think the other thing
would have dropped it. And all
it's a disadvantage for them because we've already seen other major activations. They partner with McDonald's for God's sakes, but there was no Web3 tie-in, and that doesn't bring anyone into the space. I think that's where like they've arguably executed top of funnel as good or better than anyone in the space. It's like them in Pudgies, but they're not bringing anyone through the funnel. I can't understand why. Like Fruit Loops, huge, cool. You get a golden spoon. What do I do with the golden spoon? What do I do with the wearables? I'm genuinely asking. I don't know. Like I don't know if Doodle Studio got decommissioned or it's just not a focus anymore. It's just like, where is the Web3 tie-in? I mean, to be fair, same thing for Pudgies right now. I've got a toy somewhere that I'm pretty sure comes with a claim. Do I just claim and go play that in the old Pingu world, or is it going to be in something new that they're building? Like I feel that's these IP brands, these crypto native IP brands, that's part of the disconnect right now. Is a lot of them have landed major big activations. And maybe the strategy is it's just branding. We're just doing all this for brand recognition. This is a decade-long play, and we're just going to get our brand in as many places, get as many eyeballs on it as possible, in the hopes that over time, people want to collect these assets. And that's a strategy. I get it is what it is. I just personally, I appreciate and enjoy and like the experimenting on chain. I know everything's not going to work. Everything's not going to stick. I just personally, I would like to see more than just another wearable that I don't have anything to do with. There's nothing I can do with it.
I also think, like there's two other things to throw out here. I think number one is there's an issue with like when you announce it's going to be the big one, like you expect the big one to have a crypto integration, a Doodles integration, all these things. And like, so it's like the big one's coming. Like we've been told to anticipate this for 6+ months or something. And then it's like a video that we're not sure what it is and what it does. So I understand people like kind of wanting to understand there and how it fits together. Again, I would have executed the communications on it differently. It's going to be different strokes for different folks. On an overarching basis, though, like not just them, whether it's BIRB, whether it's this, whether it's anything. When you introduce a fungible token and somebody asks the question, what is the fungible token for? Pirate Nation struggled with this, ApeCoin initially, because it was a DAO, had a plan at least, that was going on. Pengu struggles with this to a degree. Dude is struggling with this. When you introduce a fungible token, what is it for? Because you have introduced a business unit with thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of holders who are now invested and interested in this. What is your reasoning for this token and what does it do? And I think that becomes the challenge that maybe we these brands need to take a little more seriously is like, okay, you introduced Dude. What was it going to be? We didn't know what the use case was going to be. We got some long explanations of what DreamNet was before they kind of axed it. But it didn't really make a lot of sense to people. And by the way, Zane, also marketing guy, like with me, says, strongly agree. Collab announcement didn't hit because I have no idea what it even is. What's one clear headline about what that partnership is that people can really rally around and share with others? I'm sure the collab is a big deal, but the comms was a miss, IMO, in his opinion. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if people understand, like, communications and marketing is about getting people excited about your brand, bringing in people from the funnel, and getting people to organically talk about your brand.
Also, not to keep pouring on it, it's just like the recent pump on earlier this week on Dude, I do believe was almost solely due to the Upbit listing, which again, congratulations, that's awesome. But how that works, my understanding is like the Upbit insiders, they buy on the announcement listing and then they dump when it actually goes live. I could be wrong there. I don't trade Upbit, but that's what I saw other people state, that's, you know, it gets the tier 1 listing pump. There's insiders there that they buy before it goes live, and then they sell to the, you know, the exit liquidity when it actually does go live.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I think, like, we'll go to velocity here in a second, but I just think, like, to Zane's point, this is not meant to be like critiquing. It's just like a fact of, like, we've been hitting in this space for 4 years now, talking about the need for communications, marketing, and thoughtful, like, usage of that and understanding the purpose of what those things are. And we see another thing where it's like, this is a huge partnership deal. And again, instead of teaser, community involvement, how do you involve your community? Where does everything fit in the equation? Boom, announcement and everything. You just had this great video, which is very cool. A very big partnership as we understand it. Didn't tag the Universal account. And we're sitting here saying,
Happy who's a diehard dude. Can someone explain what this is for non-USAs? Again, this is a major deal. This is a huge collaboration. Arguably their biggest ever.
You're right. And this was the big one. And you get like one shot at the announcement of the big one. And like someone looked at it and said, that's going to slap. And like it, you know, to have Happy, who was like a dude through and through, being like, yeah, like what exactly is happening here? That is a big, and like, of course, like, again, you want to know what, by the way, you want to know what the doodles, you want an insight into the type of stuff I deal with in the doodles community when people ask about it. Here you go. You want to know what I was dealing with when I was having this thing before? I'm getting all fired up again. Can someone explain to me what this is for non-US natives? Does Universal not scream its films outside the US? Like, and Happy, nice enough, goes like, you know, maybe it's just me. I'll do my own research right now.
Why not just like, again, this is a fellow community member. Why not just tell him what Universal Monsters is? I had to do research yesterday. I did it live. Like, I know what Universal is. I wasn't fully aware of their Monsters franchise, which includes iconic IP. Like, why do you have to be an asshole about it?
I mean, people want to
know you. I'm just like, I'm trying to like.
No. Light's one of the people who said, I believe specifically said, I would take what Stephen Captain Zwingli say with a grain of salt for a variety of reasons. And then other people defended us. I would too. Yeah. Non-financial advice, all that stuff. But one of the people who, like, when we were like talking about, like, I think the team leaving, maybe it was, I don't even know what it was at this point.
This is an outsider. This is like not someone dunking on your community. The guy's, his literal username is Happy Dude. He's a happy guy. He's not dunking. He's not fudding. It was a genuine question. Don't be a dick.
And he's rocking a PFP with a check. And it's like, the answer is to be smart. So if people want to ask, like, what is it like and why, like, oh my God, every community has this, that, and the other. That's a glimpse into the experience of asking a question on an announcement, which was vague and which was the big one. So like, I'm not trying to like pile on, but like when people were like, by the way, like I said, I'm not joking when I say I got about a dozen DMs kind of confirming my thing from people who would surprise you even on it. And I won't go into details on it. So it's like, it just is what it is, but it's like, guys, just enjoy the win and celebrate as a team instead of eating each other alive. And Happy like took the high road there, but you know, he could have been like, honestly, I'm just kind of curious what this means because I don't understand it. And I think a lot of people maybe don't understand it, and that's okay. Like, it could be a big one, Just and I don't know, Cap. Go ahead, and then you can take it straight to velocity.
Just more breaking news. The prediction market wars continue to heat up. Velocity, you're on deck. I'll go to you here in a second. I just want to get this in. Maybe a deeper conversation for Monday. A16Z just announced they're co-leading Kalshi's Series D. I'm trying to see the details on the raise. 300 million at a $5 billion valuation. Is that this one or was that the last raise? I assume that's what they're talking about right now. Is they just raised another 300 million at a $5 billion valuation? Is that correct?
I did not see. I was like still reacting to dude. But yeah, I had a
draft post, and I apologize. Velocity, I will go to you. Let me like this so I can pin it up top for anyone that's looking to read, and then I'm gonna share my drafts because I didn't send it. I'm probably not going to because it's like, I don't know, it's not really that funny. But it was something to the effect of signs of you've made it, or signs of wealth, signs of you created wealth in crypto, or signs that you made it in crypto. In 2022, it was having a Bored Ape Yacht Club PFP. In 2024, it was having a Pudgy Penguin PFP. In 2025, it is not having a Kalshi or Polymarket badge next to your Twitter handle. Kid, it wasn't that funny, so I'm not going to send it. But I find it comical, like the divide of Kalshi and Polymarket badges, and to each their own. I'm not hating. Like, go get your checks, go get paid. It's just funny to me. I don't know why. I find it so funny. People who've literally made millions of dollars this cycle, and maybe I'm sure their offers are far more than what us C-tier KOLs get, but it's just funny to me that most people here will sell out, and that's okay. Like, get paid. It's just some of these same people have also talked about KOLs and agencies and paid deals and not disclosing stuff. And guess what? Everyone that's bull posting Kalshi that has a Kalshi badge, they're getting paid to post that. Like, and oh, by the way, they're prohibited from talking bad about Polymarket or Myriad, or not talking bad. They're prohibited from talking positively about those. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's probably only me that finds the humor or the irony in this, but
yeah. Let's go to Velocity. Saw your hand fly up. Go ahead and get in here, Velocity GM.
GM, Captain GM, Steve. So I've been following Coffee with Captain for a time now, since the aping and ape Solana stuff. So it has actually been a very interesting, journey, kind of. So I've been going on with how the market is moving, the BIRB strategy, the Vibe strategy, and all those other strategies are very interesting, although I'm not really big on token works and stuff like that. So I feel like speculative markets really is not the best way to go, although it helps investors get in based on what they feel like is the value that the community is going to bring, or the value that whatever they're buying into is going to bring. I feel more like it has more negative tendencies and trends more than positive tendencies, in that the investors that invest their money into those markets and eventually are not able to get what they felt would have been the value of the money they invested into the markets will probably later leave, and that was how projects die off. That's how projects don't. Just like the pre-sale I got into some few days back, all domains pre-sale, and it was down over 63% in just 24 hours, and so means I'm just waiting for Moonbear collectible to see how much value is going to bring to me. I don't know. It's still not financial advice, but whenever I get enough liquidity, I can get in on the Moonbears and get more if I can. Thank you so much.
Oh, we lost Steve. No, thanks for jumping up. Appreciate it. And it's it's gonna be a fun weekend, Steve. When you get back here, I will. I've got to go get my Jupiter drops, and then I need to make this decision whether. I think now is the time. I'm just going to go ahead and make the move. Zane just shared it in the war room. If we're going apples to apples, the dude token at 85 million, Vibestr at 75. Or, I'm sorry, 10 million, and their floor prices are about the same. I just answered my own question. I do absolutely believe that the Good Vibes Club token will go up from here. I don't know how high, and there is some risk. You do have whales that could sell this thing off, but just again to show you the updated chart here, it's very bullish when you have 460 ETH ready to buy. That's programmed. It will buy these NFTs that are currently at a 0.84 floor. Remember earlier in the show we were talking, it's going to get to 0.8. It hit there and ran. I'm very confident that continues to go up for a while. I just don't think it's going to 10x from here. I don't think an 80th floor is realistic anytime in the near future for Good Vibes Club.
Oh, you're doing the risk reward math. Here we go. Let's do it.
I absolutely think Vibestr could hit $100 million market cap. That seems, if this thing really goes, if this thing really takes off, if it really is, like, you can't tell me. I mean, today, right now, at this very moment, it's been live for not even 24 hours. There's more utility in actual fundamentals baked into Vibestr than there is dude. I could even say there's more actual utility and fundamentals baked into Vibestr than there is Pingu. I know that's a stretch from a market cap standpoint and a brand standpoint. Like, there's really something here, and it's only $10 million market. I think a lot of people, myself included, are going to look at, oh, well, yeah, but it's part of Punkster. How high can it really get? You know, Punkster's already only $137 million market cap. It's impossible for one of the the subsidiary collections or subsidiary token. What do we calling these things? They're relative to Punkster. Punkster is the granddaddy. Punkster is what they all feed back into. It's hard to envision one of the secondary collections being valued at more than Punkster. Probably won't. But if Vibestr runs to 100 million, I happen to think Punkster is probably going to, maybe not 10x, but it probably becomes a $500 million token. I don't know. These are really big numbers to go. They got to go a long way from here. All I know is if Good Vibes Club did drop a token, or like their own token, they had a TGE yesterday instead of Vibestr, I think it'd be a hell of a lot higher than 11 million.
Yeah. I mean,
the floor price is basically it's within 10% of Doodles right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think
on the NFT, that is.
I mean, I think like saying 100 mil is a big stretch, but I think
Doodles 85.
I think 100 mil is a big.
There's no buy and burn mechanism for dude. There is for Vibestr.
Yeah.
Market's valuing their NFTs at about the same. I know there's not the same supply, but they're not that far off. They're definitely not as far off as it's not dude's not 8.5 times more motion or fundamentals than is Vibestr when you're talking about the NFTs within 10% of each other.
Yeah.
I'm going to find other examples. I apologize. I'm not picking on dude. It's just, it's their fault. They had an announcement yesterday. They're the easiest to talk about. They're in the news, and their floor price is close to Good Vibes Club. This is a pro Vibestr more so than anything else. I'm just using, what are our comps? What can we comp to Vibestr? Well, you really can't comp Vibestr to any of these other strategy tokens. Why? Well, they all either have a token already or they have one coming. I guess Punk would be the exception. There's no Punk token. It's also different. It's the top. Ape has ApeCoin. Pudgy Strategy has Pingu. Checkster, I guess that they don't have a token. Squiggles don't have a token. So I've already been wrong. BIRB has one coming. Meepster doesn't have a token. I mentioned yesterday that they've executed like the second mover advantage very well. And I think how they've done this is I would be shocked if we see future strategy launches don't follow I think they'll follow similar mechanics as did Vibestr, maybe making small iterations, but I think unquestioned, this is the best this is the best strategy launch yet since Punkster.
Yeah, it's definitely the best one. And I mean, I think 100 mils may be crazy based on what we've seen early on in these. We don't know, but like we could. Yeah, I mean, it could. Like I don't think it's, but I think like, man, I mean, is it crazy to say like 20 mil or 30 mil? No, not at all. But look, I mean, let's finish this out because I got a couple things I got to hit on today as well, and I got a busy day actually out of the house doing some stuff. So I'm gonna rock and roll for a second, but let's go ahead and send everybody off into their day. I appreciate everyone who came through this morning. We will talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.